first instalment of the Ellis Lockdown. This one's a simple, probably a bit boring Q&A, like I said, but it gets us doing something, doesn't it? Well, we can't get out on the bank. But I've got a few questions from people over on Instagram, a couple on Facebook, not many from the YouTube, where I asked you to put a comment, but there'll be a few more of these Q&As, so if you leave a comment below this video, then I'll read them for future ones, because I'm sure there'll be a few more, because we've got nothing better to do. But yeah, the first up, one from Instagram, Daz Harris. Hi Greg, hope you're well. My question for the lockdown is, if you had a time machine and can go back in time to fish for any famous carp from the past, which fish would you go for and why? Now that one, it's quite hard, because all them past history fish, I'd love to have them all, the Black Mirror, you know the ones, I'd love to have a go on there. But for me, it's got to be Mary from Raspberry 1. Not particularly because of the fish, it's more of the surroundings and how you fish for that fish. The boat fishing side of it, the low stock, big crystal clear pit. Basically, that's my favourite style of angling, and when you've got a fish in there, at the time, British record, and a 50 pounder from back then was a mega fish, but it's the more of the way of how you actually catch the fish from there. I've been lucky enough to boat fish the South Lake on the old Lucy's Bowl charity events and that, and to be fair, it's the best ever boat fishing lake I've been on. The water's crystal clear, it's a proper pit, and I would have just loved to do it back in the day. Gutted I'm a little bit too young. If I could get a time machine, I'd be straight on Raspberry 1 when it was low stock, blanking my tits off, but having the time of my life. And I bet there was a fair few good parties going on over there as well. If there's anything to do, like, to judge by on the island lake and stuff, boat fishing is party central. Loved it. But yeah, Raspberry 1, Mary, that's my one. Another one from Instagram, Ben Waterhouse. I think I met this Ben in Manchester Northern Angling Show. I got a selfie with him, as when he sent me the message I see the selfie, so thanks Ben for your question. This one, being a target fish angler, have you ever given up on a target fish? If not, what gives you the drive to keep going for it, excluding ones that have died? Now that's a good one, because my first ever taste of target fishing for one particular carp, I actually gave up on. Yeah, I couldn't, it's one of them, I had another ticket pop up basically. It was Clevedley Mere, now known as Ashbury Fisheries. My mate Ash Bradbury, he runs it now, so I've just taken it over. But yeah, Clevedley Mere and Hendricks. Now during that, I'd been fishing like my local warren and that, and catching like 20s and stuff, 130 I've had out of there. But I wanted like I wanted to go for big fish. And I used to read articles in Big Carp magazine, like Sean Leverett, Dave Lane, Ian Chilcott, they was all fishing there. So these were all the top boys, and I used to read about them in the magazines and that. And it was always Hendricks, and I really wanted Hendricks. So I've joined it, managed to get myself a ticket. I had to join the top lake first in order to get onto the actual mere. It was like, join that lake and you'll get on a waiting list for this one. You know how it runs, you know how it works in this carp world. You can't just get straight on a lot of the time if you ain't known and that. And I was just a young one at the time. But yeah, anyway, I got my ticket. Done 2 years on there, caught a fair few fish. A couple of big known ones as well. Gig Sea, that was like up there with Hendricks. That was like the same sort of batch. Tango, that was a 40, that was my first 40. But yeah, I was fishing for Hendricks and my manor ticket come up, like the Essex Manor. So I thought, it's like 800 quid or 900 quid it was, and I thought, I've got to take that ticket. I can't not take it because I'll lose it. So I had to pay out 900 quid, and I thought, I can't afford to have 900 quid for the manor, and also the mere, which was, I think it was 500 quid or 600 quid maybe. So I thought, I'm going to have to drop it, but I swore to myself that I would return. Luckily enough, I've done 3 years on the manor, and at the time the 3 top ones to have was Stella, the Northern and George's. And I managed to catch all of them. Then I went off to Halton. It wasn't until a few years later that I thought I had a bit of time, I could do a bit of time during the week for overnighters. I thought, I'll tell you what, and I think it was like 7 years later, I got a ticket on Clevedley Mere again for just doing overnighters, and I thought, this is it, I'm going to go back and I'm going to go for Hendricks. When I first joined it, them 2 years I'd done on there, I was a young one and I was still learning, but I went back there the second time around after fishing all these other waters, and I've learned a lot more since. And I think just doing overnighters, don't get me wrong, I've done a lot of overnighters. I was going to work, coming home from work, going straight down the mere, doing a night, might have had a couple, and then I'd fill it in with boilie, go to work again, and then I'll come back, like going for dinner, and then I'll come back that night, and then I'll get straight back on the same spot. That was the grassy swim, and then repeat the process. So I was doing mainly every night, but at the weekends I was on the Island Lake in the Colne Valley, so I was doing like Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. Then I'd go away, do me a bit of fishing like on the Friday on the Island Lake, and I'd come back again. It was about, I think it took me 3 or 4 months to get it in the end. I had about 20 fish, I think, and I had Hendrix finally after all those years. But that was a buzz and a half when that went in the net. First thing I'd done, because my mum, like growing up, my mum knew how much I wanted Hendrix. Like all my passwords back in the day were Hendrix 42, because I thought I was going to catch it at £42. And actually on my last session when I first joined, it come out. I was doing my last session, it was like, this is it, now or never. And then it actually come out in the swim next door. One of the old boys, I forgot his name now. He was on there quite a lot, but he had it, and it was like the 7th time he's caught it. It comes out a lot, Hendrix, but if you really want it, it's one of the fish that you'll never catch. So if you want it that much, you'll never catch it. It's one of them, and that's what happened to me on my first year. But yeah, I gave up on that, and I did go back finally. And there's another one, Kingsmead 1, fish called Starries. There's a story to that one. Basically, he was come out quite a lot in the winter. When I got my ticket on there, I started fishing for it, and it just done a disappearing act. Like literally went missing that year. And we was like, oh, it ain't in there. Has it died? Has it gone? And then has it gone over to the Island Lake through the nets and that into the big vast 60-acre pit next door. But yeah, I gave up on that. That's the one I gave up on, Starries. And I went back. The following season, I got a ticket on the Island Lake, and would you believe it? The Scarred Mirror, I had that from the Kingsmead 1. I had that at 47. It's been 50 now, but that got caught from the Island Lake, and I was like, hang about, maybe Starries did go over there and winter. That was like, I get a bit of stick really from the Houghton boys saying I made up a rumour that it went over there to winter, but it might have. And then after that capture of the Scarred Mirror, I caught a fish from the Island Lake that I nicknamed Wonky Chops. That was in Kingsmead 1. Caught it twice from there, and I caught that from the island. So there was fish getting through somehow, whether they were moved or whatever. But yeah, Starries did get caught that spring. Like the spring I left and I was on the island, it come out at 54. But luckily enough, that spring, just before the Starries come out, I had roids at £54 6 ounce. So you sort of like dented the blow. I'd already caught a 50 and I was buzzing, and Starries was like, I swept to the side. But yeah, I gave up on Starries, unfortunately, and now it's dead and I could never go back. Obviously the dead ones like Ellsfish and that, you can't help that. They die, you move on anyway. Luckily enough, when Els died, the Burfield ticket popped up. So I've been fairly lucky in my fishing in recent years. This one is a Facebook message, Kieran Goldie. Have you got an idea as to who the number plate thief was? If you have, how are you going to go about giving him some stick for it? Tearing up the meat isn't quite enough, I don't reckon, mate. The blogs on the nuts, keep them coming. Well, thanks for the comment about the blogs, and if that video weren't enough, then I don't know what it is. Like, I don't tend to get violent these days, you know what I mean? I do my talking with me fish, and to be fair, I'm not even sure if it was an angler from the Meads who nicked it. It seems pretty convenient, doesn't it? But you never know, it might have been an angler, might not have been, but either way, it got nicked on Lazy Meads, so I made a video and sort of got my revenge on Lazy Meads. I don't know who it was, don't know who it could have been, and normally if people nick stuff, they start telling their mates and giving, yeah, I nicked his number plate, and then the plan was to make a video, and then when that video come out, the geezer that has been going about saying he nicked my number plate, thinking he's the big man, he would have got a load of shit from his mates because I've just, what can I say, exposed the place. But that weren't my intention at first. I was going to keep it all quiet out of respect, but if you nick something of mine, then I'm going to have a bit of revenge, you know. I weren't happy, but it could have been kids, could have been travellers or whatever, but why nick the back one and not the front one when the back one was out of the way of the camera? They obviously didn't want to be seen, but yeah, that's my revenge. I ain't going to do no more, obviously. I made a video, got to cover a carp weld. Not many anglers knew I'd caught the big one out of there until they saw carp weld, so that was my sweet revenge, if you like. But yeah, let the fish do the talking, and if anyone gives you shit, top tip, if anyone gives you shit on fishing lakes, don't react, just pile in the bait and reap the rewards, and make them watch. That's what I do. I've done it for a few years now, and it's quite a good feeling when it all goes to plan. This one, another Facebook message. Jack Clegg. One rig to use for the rest of your angling career and why? Well, since using the Ronnie rig, not going to lie, it's probably the best rig I've ever used. Because I fish a lot of big pits with crayfish and that, and clear, especially in the winter months, they're clear as anything, so you get a lot of tufties. That Ronnie rig, it started off being one rig on one rod, and then I used to use my blowback rig, what I was confident in, on the others. But then now it's all 3 rods Ronnie rig. Basically it resets itself. If you use a stiff boom, I use Black Amnesia, which is like a sea fishing mono, and it's just bulletproof. The crayfish can't handle it. When they do, and the carp move in, it resets itself. When the tufties pick it up in the winter, or the coats, they drop it and it resets itself. Obviously your rubber hook baits, they ain't putting them off, and it's bulletproof. When the carp move in, I'm fishing effectively. Arrow would have been if I'd just cast it out and nothing had touched it. So for me, for the rest of my life, I would use a Ronnie rig. As noddy as it sounds to some of you carpy boys, get on the Ronnie. It's the one, mate. Especially on these big crayfish infested waters we got. Right, now this is quite a long one. This is from Mark Carper on my Instagram. Old Talking Carp magazine editor. What's he put? You got 10 minutes. How do you keep motivated when you're just targeting 1 or 2 carp? Elle springs to mind, and obviously that elusive common, which means the Burfield common. How do I keep motivated? When I'm targeting a specific fish, that's what keeps me motivated. Like that 1 carp, you could put me on the world's roughest lake, yeah? People getting shot down left, right and centre. But if I've got my eye on 1 carp, I'm fishing there. It's like the buzz for that 1 fish. Nothing stops me. Like I would risk my life for a carp, no lie. And if the Burfield common, if Burfield turned into some weird wild west place like that, and it was dangerous to go to, I'd still be there because the common's there. You know what I mean? That's my motivation. If I want it, I don't give up. No matter how hard it is, or no matter how rough it could be, I'm still there. Next part. Given that you are an experienced and accomplished angler, cheers mate, why have you never entered the numerous carp championships, etc., or attempted to get in the Team England? Basically, that sort of fishing, the match side of carp fishing, that ain't really a bit of me. Like I can't handle catching loads of fish. Like going to Linear or somewhere, even Berners all in the winter, that was a bit too much. Constantly spodding, constantly catching, like 20s, couple of 30s maybe. Like, all that's good fun. I like to do that in the winter to get bites and that. But it's not my style of fishing all year. It's I'd rather catch 1 fish all year and it'll be the one I wanted, say the Burfield common. If I go all year, no I wouldn't catch a single carp, but I was guaranteed to catch that 1 at the end, I'd go all year without catching. I'd blank every weekend. It don't really appeal to me, that sort of big carp match fishing in the carp scene. It's never really appealed to me. I'd rather go and hunt the lake and pick out 1 fish in particular, you know what I mean? Catch a few along the way, but not too many. And these big waters I fish, you're looking at, if you catch 10 fish a year, you've done well. Whereas the match side of it, you catch 10 fish in, mate, you catch 20 fish in a night. Like, yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but each to their own. That's why I've never even tried to enter and stuff like that. I'm sure I'd get in. Old Hughesy would love me on the team, you know what I mean? But I don't think I could do it, to be fair. Is your year-round tan from a bottle or a booth? Well, I must say, mate, I don't fake tan. Everyone thinks I fake tan, right? It's not fake tan, it's just a little bit of artificial sunlight, yeah? I'll go in the old local tanning shop in Basildon. Absolutely fabulous tanning. It's changed now, like Mega Sun tanning, Basildon Tan Centre. I'll go in there once, twice a week. Not at the minute because it's everything's shut. Pulling my hair out, I can't get a tan on. But yeah, it's a booth, mate. And if you listen to my old mates on the church side, Halton, they used to call, because I'm from Essex, and obviously Nash is from Essex, they used to nickname the Royal Box on Halton Nash's Spray Booth. Like these are like my Brummie mates, like Matthew Stone. I'll be mentioning him soon. I'm going to do a little talk about Halton, and he's going to pop up. I've got a few pictures I've found of him as well, so be warned, Stoney. Right, this is a 2-part question. if, and this is a massive if, mainline announced that they were stopping production of the cell, what bait would you turn to, and would you change your registration plate? If mainline stopped making cell, I'd turn to something else in the mainline range, because it don't matter. I use cell because I love it, but every bait that mainline make works, and they're all on par with a cell. It just cell is popular. And would I change my number plate? No, I wouldn't, because that's a good memory. Like the cell lad, that'd always stay there. I'd never leave mainline, regardless. Like, they could sack me if they wanted, I'd still buy it. I'm not even joking. Unless you paid me a shitload of money to go to your company, I might go. Nearly saw then. Buy everything go, innit? But nah, mainline till I die. Keep with the mainline baits theme. Do you use factory standard, or are your baits tweaked for you? It's a funny one, because a lot of people think I use cell, and it's like, it's a special cell for all the consultants, like where you get a different bait to what you get in the shops. Alright, but that ain't true. But when I was on Halton Church Lake, everyone decided to get on the cell, and I was doing quite well. I was all buying cell, and I used to walk around there like proper geezer, like bowling about, and I just go, yeah mate, you can have the cell, but you ain't got the Essex cell. Oh, what's that? I'm like, Essex cell? Like, it's a different cell, mate, you can't get this in the shops, it's what I use. But it weren't, it was straight out off the shelf, it's the same as what everyone else was using. But a few people believed it, and wanted Essex cell. But yeah, my bait I use, it's not special, it's just what everyone else gets. Honestly, on my life, I'll get the same batch as everyone else. It's just where you put it that counts and what makes the difference. So that's the answer for that one, Mark Carper. Thanks for the long one. Been an hour in it, as expected. C9 carping off me Instagram. How come you keep your fishing tactics private? Think your videos are the best out there, mate, but you never share how you fish. How come? Basically, I do a few little things that are different, and I have little tactics that might work on certain lakes. And the reason I don't show it all, and my rigs and stuff, the rig I don't show because it's a Ronnie rig. Everyone knows what a Ronnie rig looks like, but the baiting up and stuff and what I use, how much I use or whatever, I tend to keep that pretty secret. I don't show you anything because obviously the lakes I'm fishing and making videos on, there's other people on that lake watching, because obviously I would, if someone made a video on the lake I'm fishing, I'd be watching it. So I like to try and get my own little things going on certain areas and stuff, and I don't like to show what I'm actually doing. Remember on back to Halton Church Lake, everyone used particle, no one used boilie. I went on there, everyone started using boilie, everyone started using cell boilies because I used them, and I used to tip them off with a yellow mainline topper, and I'm walking around, and people that used to always use particle, they're using mainline cell with yellow toppers, because I used to write about it in magazines, I used to say exactly what I was doing. But now, I've learnt my lesson, and what I do, I don't show, because everyone gets on it, and then reaps the rewards, but gives you no credit. Like, been there, done it, and now, I'd rather keep my stuff to myself, and then do what I'm doing, without no one knowing. That's the reason for that. Corona. Right, got a few, mate. How did you become sponsored? How did I become sponsored? Right, and do you like being sponsored? A friend of mine is, and in ways he likes it, but in others he doesn't, because his fishing is dictated by the company. I'm quite lucky, like, I got sponsored. I started off from the bottom, right from the bottom, from little companies, bait companies and that. Worked my way up, finally got the mainline, Gardner tackle on the Church Lake, got a ridge monk at the same time, but they didn't do tackle then, so that was just lights and that. Then I left Gardner, got a ridge monkey full time when they brought tackle out. Had a few other companies, been a bit of a whore about the game, but maybe I'll talk about that one day, about all the whoring I've done, but it's for a reason. But yeah, I don't mind it. It's it don't get in my way of fishing, basically. If it got in the way of fishing, all my sponsors and that, if they was on me for like content all the time, or you got to do this, got to catch that, then I wouldn't be able to do it, because the lakes I fish, I can't guarantee bites. I can't catch a lot of fish in a year, but when I do catch them, they are good normally. But to get sponsored, I had to write a lot in magazines. You weren't going to get sponsored back then if you weren't writing in Carp Talk, Carp World and stuff like that. And you had to constantly, you got to be like, it weren't so much social media then, it was in the magazines all the time. You got to be writing all the time. You couldn't like just go disappearing for a bit, because I'd go disappearing now in this lockdown and get forgotten about. Simple as that. If I didn't make these, like, I'll be forgotten about. A year out of the game, you're gone. So yeah, you had to do right. Now, this day and age, you've got to be on social media, believe it or not. You ain't got to be a good angler to get sponsored. You've just got to be active on social media. So if you do want a sponsor, it's not what it's cracked out to be. Like, I used to dream, like, I used to read the magazines, see old Derek Ritchie and all them lot in there. I used to dream of being with them, like being up there with them, doing what they're doing in magazines. And now I'm doing it, and you don't feel no different. It's just, you've got people watching you all the time, expecting stuff. But I never feel the pressure. The only time I feel the pressure is when I get the haters on me, and that's good for me. I like thrive on that. That's my drive to do well. But yeah, I never get dictated. Like, if I was dictated to do stuff, I wouldn't do it. I'd sack the sponsor off. Like, I'll just do my own thing, and what I do, they like. They're good to me. My sponsor, they give me what I want when I want. I'll give them stuff. They're happy with me. I'm happy with them. There's no pressure. So I've got it sweet in a minute. Abid Carp and Mainline Baits. They're my two sponsors, and couldn't ask for anyone better. So I like being sponsored. That's the answer to that question. And if you want to get sponsored, just be active on social media. Go and catch carp. They ain't got to be massive these days. And most of all, a top tip: make YouTube videos. Because since making these videos, I've got so much more exposure. Just make my own YouTube channel. If you want to be sponsored, mate, get on YouTube. That's the one. And just do what you got to do. Do what I do. Sit in your shed and chat bullshit. It's great. Basically. Oh, another one from the Instagram. 8 Elcher. This one, it means Belcher. My mate Chris Belcher. Would you say I'm still your biggest idol in carp fishing? Yes, Chris Belcher, you are my biggest idol, mate. I'll always say that. Best angler I've ever fished with, and well underrated. Obviously, he's got a family now. He works a lot. He only does overnighters, but put him on any of these big fish waters in the country, mate, and he'll have them. He'll tear them up. He's golden bollocks. No matter where you take him, he'll do well. And I had an interview with Total Carp magazine in Manchester, Northern Angling Show, and one of the questions was, who's the best carp angler you've ever fished with? And without even thinking about it, straight off the top of my head, I went Chris Belcher. He taught me a lot, believe it or not. He taught me how to tie a knot down the Warren, square that. I won't go into that story yet, but yeah, I used to lose quite a few fish like off the top because I couldn't tie knots, but he taught me that, and since that day, I couldn't stop catching. So Chris Belcher has played a big part in me being here today, where I am now, definitely. So you're still my idol, mate, 100%. Binsey 73, Neil Baines, currently a Nazim Meads bailiff, I think. He's a bailiff in the Lee Valley, and I used to fish with him on Clevedemere back in the day when I first fished there. He's put, has anyone ever pissed on your van? Laughing faces. Come to think of it, I totally forgot about this till he messaged me this the other night. Basically, I've got a brand new van. I think it was a Vauxhall combo van, right, back in the day. Drove through the gates on Clevedemere, pulling down the muddy track, turned left at the end where you go up like past the lake. Anyway, Dan Shaw, right, nicknamed Claw, right, proper funny bailiff he was. He was a top lad, right. Used to get on the moonshine and all that, drink ourselves to bits like during the nights. But yeah, he's come up to my van, was like, oi, can of Foster's, right. Chucked it on the bonnet, like rested it there, and I was like, what's he doing? It's my brand new van. Anyway, he's just flopped it out, yeah. Didn't have a camera phone at the time. If he'd done it now, I'd be filming it and you'd be seeing it now. But yeah, he's flopped it out and he's pissed all over my bonnet. And Neil's in the background cracking up, and I'm sitting there in my van like, what is he doing? It's my brand new van. You know what I mean? I weren't amused at the time, but now looking back, yeah, that's a good old memory. Thanks for that, Neil. I might remember that moonshine night we had. Yeah, that was bad. I might mention that soon. That was a bad one, wasn't it? Right, Aaron Richards 96 from Instagram. Yes, Greg, I've got a little question for you. What's the most hostile venue you've been to, and what was the fishing like on there, and the people? Hostile. It's got to be North Met, innit? I fished a few crazy places, like most of these big pits and that, especially in the south. You've got a lot of traveller sites around them and stuff, and if you're scared of like being on a lake where anyone can walk around with travellers about and stuff, and no fence, then if you're in a big carp scene in the south, you're going to struggle, mate, unless you fish places like Horton. If you want the big pits, you've got to go unfenced and out there with the weird ones. But yeah, the most hostile, North Met pit. That's a rough old pit, mate. I've seen some shit on there, but one of them, I've mentioned it before in my other videos, the Crazy Axe Man woke up. I had a trader at 1 in the morning, woke up, wrapping up the rods, some geezer walked past, and he had a, like, didn't think nothing of it. I thought, that's a crackhead, like that, piss head. Just walking around the Met at 1 in the morning. Went back to bed. Next day, the old Bill turned up in the swim next door, and geezer's been nicked there, laying there with his arm out, with an axe in his hand. I was like, like, if he was a nutter. This at the time when London was rife for like cutting people's heads off and that, you know what I mean? The old terrorist attacks. So it only took one in me bivvy, like Brody, I'll me like my head's off in it. But I didn't really worry at the time. I just thought, oh, crikey. And it weren't until that winter when I was fishing on that like 50-acre pit on my own, with not a soul about, no other anglers to like cry for help to. And I was laying there one night and I thought about that axe man that autumn, and I thought, oh my god, mate, if someone comes round there with an axe, I'm dead. Like, I can't get out of here alive. And I used to worry a bit in the winter. So another one, a couple of springs ago, I was fishing the first crib, which is like on Cadmore Lane, and then my mate Paul Mulder was in the bench swim, and a couple of people walked, like, you could hear a moped coming round, and there was like a geezer on the back of it. It turned out to be 3 geezers, and they've rode a moped down past the bench swim, got into the common swim next door, like a big wooden platform, and all you've heard, this was like 11:30 at night, no, 10:30 at night, yeah, and it's freezing cold, right? All you've heard is "Badoosh." I was like, mate, I rang Mulder, I went, "Where Mulder? They've chucked their moped in, didn't they?" He went, "Yeah, I think so." Anyway, "Badoosh," another one, and then "Badoosh." What they've done is they've jumped in and they've gone swimming at 10:30 at night in North Met Pit, pitch black, and it was like the start of May, so the water was still freezing, and they're swimming around North Met for an hour. Like, they got out of the water at 11:30, got back on their moped and rode back off. Like, mental, you know what I mean? But that's enough questions for now. The rinse up I'm going to do, basically, I've been through my comments and there's only a few bad ones. I thought there's going to be a lot more, so it turns out a lot of people like me, so I'm hoping I'll get a bit of shit from this video and you can comment some bad stuff. But the rinse up, I'll still do it, but it's going to be a short one and not too good. But these questions and answers, I've still got a few more. Like, I'm going to do another question and answers video, so if you get your questions to me, leave them below this video. But it seems like Instagram is the place to be at the minute for activity. Like, I'm getting more questions on Instagram than anything, although I've asked on Facebook, I've asked on YouTube. But yeah, get me on Instagram at @GreeGuinness24. Follow me if you don't. Subscribe to this video, click the bell, and then when you get all the latest content I'm posting, you'll get a notification and you'll get to see it. But until then, I'm going to sort some Halton pictures out and see what I can do on there, and we'll get another questions and answers get ready. So yeah, thanks for having me. Be safe out there, and don't get too bored.